just kind of general advice. Your hands fall mid-thigh, so perfectly between the thigh and the knee, basically. So this arm would fall a little farther down on the body. I think the shoulders are uneven. The shoulders are uneven on purpose? That doesn't make sense. I'm not talking about like the angle of them being uneven. I'm talking about the like distance. Your head should be like in the middle of your shoulders. I'm not talking about lopsided. I'm talking about like length. Okay if your character is tilted, but what I do think is that it's just unbalanced, right? Like you can have a tilt, but you need some balance. Okay, the pose. Yeah, I guess, how about I ask, because you're here, Suboptimal, what was the pose you were going for with the hand? Just kind of holding the hand there. Okay. I don't know, like, the head is facing towards us, but this character is, like, all facing towards the right, but I feel like I'm kind of almost centered on this head. Like, the chin is perfectly in the middle. The expression looks nervous. Okay. Was that the vibe we were going for? Oh, he is supposed to be uncomfortable. All right, well then you're successful. I don't know how much variety you have in your colors to pick from. Starting with your lightest tone, you can't go light over dark with markers, right? Like once you put a dark down, that's it. You're stuck with that dark. I would say start with your lightest color and you color that in first, the whole thing. You did your lights first? You covered them because I don't really see them. They must be very similar to your darks because you need a light, a mid, and then a dark. So I see mostly mid-tones. My suggestions for coloring in general, use a color that's like super far from the actual color you want to use. And that's also going to add a lot of character if you pick a color that's like vastly different. So if I'm coloring something green, like grass or something, I'll use a red for the darks. It adds something more unique to it, and a dark red will make the greens pop more than a dark green will. Don't go like winging it if you've never done it before. It's definitely something you can just practice, where I'd say you just make a couple drawings and I'd say attempt to shade and highlight with a different shade. I think we got the idea. Okay, I hope that was helpful. This person has nice like upper body strength going on here, but their bottom half is very thin in comparison. He's supposed to be slim. His shoulders are like massive. He's very, very built. Can someone be slim and have broad shoulders? I mean, like, yeah, you can, but the like proportions of it's not the way you drew it. I'm gonna see if I can find an example. Yeah, so all the shoulders are different lengths, but I think something I'm noticing is like the distance between of the armpit is a little different. This length as well also will change, I think. This is the best picture I could find. There's really not a lot of good pictures on the internet for this. This is something that I think you can just like study people. A lot of drawing from life of different body types. All critiques. They just want to improve anatomy. You said anatomy, I'm just gonna talk anatomy, guys, because it's already been an hour and I've done one drawing. Hand is backwards. Which hand? Oh, the one holding the wine. Also, definitely not how you hold wine. I know this isn't anatomy, but I guess it's just placement. Umbrella's funky, so I'm gonna remove this umbrella. Definitely, the eyes are really high up on the head. This is the kind of art that's really hard to edit because there's just so much detail. It's hard to move things around without messing everything else up when your art is so detailed like this. It always just looks really bad when I edit art that's like really detailed. Give me a break on this one, guys. Okay, I'm gonna try my best. That's better. I'm gonna ignore all my gaps. We need a skull. Where does the brain go? How do you function? No skull, no brain. Is this the time of day when I get weird again? This is usually what happens. You need a chin gap. The arm, yeah, the arm is also a little funky. But I do suggest you do the whole body first before you put the like clothes and stuff down. Like, it's really important to know the anatomy before you commit to, like, whatever it is you commit to. References are the best way to learn anything. Always use references. You can tell the age of someone by how they draw characters holding alcoholic drinks. Or you've just never had a drink before. Guys, this is gonna be a messy hand. I don't really care. I'm kind of just gonna give the illusion of a hand. Whatever, it's the implication of a hand. I feel like this is the route we're going now. This is more sketchy. I feel like if I try for perfection, I'm never gonna move on to anything else. So this is the new, and here's the old. Yay. Why did TikTok get rid of pinning comments? I'm so mad about that. What the heck is that for? No, Bug Chipotle, don't! No! Oh, I know. I hate women. Women are horrible. I don't want them to come to me, be there, and big, strong women hug. Don't want, what? No, I don't want that. What are you talking about? Is someone gonna clip me saying I would like large women, hug me, please? I don't care about perfection, but I've noticed that, again, when I post these videos online after the stream is over, people are always just like, oh my god, it looks bad still. Why didn't you make it look, like, completely perfect? And I'm like, do you understand what editing is? Do you understand what I'm doing and how hard this is to do? This is not easy. What do you mean perfect? I didn't draw this. People are just so perfectionists when they see these and they're like, why didn't you? I'm like, leave me alone. I do these for free. What do you want from me? It's been many years of posting my art online. This is the first time I've had anyone actually like pay attention to what I'm posting. It's quite the feeling. I've been searching for it my whole life. That feeling of people recognizing what I do. And I finally have it. But my god, I'm old. Like, I feel like if I had this happening while I was still a teenager, I'm actually glad my art never got popular while I was a teenager. I think that would have ruined me absolutely completely. Teenage clout is horrible. Like, it will ruin you. Guys, if you're a teenager, do not search for clout. It's not good for your health, your mental health. It's okay to not be popular as a teenager. Like, now that I'm an adult, I feel like I can take it much better. But my god, if this is what I was gonna deal with when I was a teen, I think I would have just given up. It would have been so bad. Luckily, I was never, like, seeking it, or, like, I would do crazy stuff for attention. Like, I knew people who were popular in fandoms, and my god, did it go to their head. Those were the worst people. Like, they were okay artists, but none of them pursued it. I had a lot of friends in fandom who were, like, popular artists. My god, did it go to their head. It was horrible. They were so higher than thou. You're my age. You're not better than me. Anatomy, rendering, and lighting. The anatomy's pretty solid. They're muscles. I'm losing my mind. Muscles. Oh my god. I would just say I think he needs a little more of a skull back here. Lighting and colors. It's very muted. You know, your grayscale is really okay. I think it's just your color choices are very muted. Add me some brighter points. I feel like he's very, I don't know, it's very dull. Oh my god! Thank you. Gifting all the subs. I don't know what colors you're using to shade. It looks like you pick a color and then you just make it darker, right? That's kind of the vibe I'm getting, where you pick a color and darken that color. My suggestion is to pick colors that are very far away from the color you're using. It's gonna add like a lot more pop to your piece. And it also makes your colors way more interesting. You got a good technique going on here. I think we just gotta make those colors pop out more. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm literally scribbling. Yeah, that's it. I just added a little pop. It's not very good, but I think that adds pizzazz, like, you know. This is a whip, so we only got a sketch. You know what? Because this is still a sketch, I might just do like a redlining. Do people in chat know what redlining is? I know animation uses it for sure. It's basically like drawing over the thing with the changes in the color red. They do it in animation all the time so they can correct your poses because, oh my god, do you get so much feedback about pose changing in animation. It's crazy. It's literally like, move this arm 20 degrees in this direction. That thumb is backwards. Whoopsie. Is this the front or the back of the person? Oh. I don't know. Is this? I think it's the front. I was just assuming it's the front of the person because that makes sense, right? I'm just gonna make it the front. I think this is a tail, right? That's why I think it's the front, because this looks like a tail to me. This eye, you gotta make sure that there's this gap here. Your eye should never directly touch the edge. If your chest is this way, then we would have more here and less here. So we would see less of the side because this side is more visible to us. Straight legs, make sure they're straight so that they can walk, and the thumb, put it on the right side of the body. That's just kind of the basics for redlining. Any critique? Got it. I think we're trying to have them leaning forward, right? Like towards us. That's what we want, right? That's what we're going for. However, this is what we have. This is the hardest part, is the like selecting parts. It takes so long. Okay, I'm gonna make that bigger. Whoa, not that big. Hello, I would like to talk about your car's extended warranty. Although I will say, doesn't Schlatt have a very square head? He kind of does, doesn't he? Now, some of the issues, these are hard to edit because like it's so highly rendered, this piece, but some of the issues are coming with like the angle here. So maybe I'll redline it because it's hard to edit this. Maybe pushing the tie over a little more would show some more of that perspective. Like if it came out more and then like crinkled in somehow. Forearm does kind of look small, you're correct. And then we can have like all the fabric be scrunched up right here where the bend is happening. More shadow. We could do more shadow. They were going for menacing, so we could definitely add some more dark. This is my trick. If you really want menacing, you color the entire thing the dark and you pull out the highlights. So you erase out what you want to be brighter. So here's the changes. I'm including the red line so you guys can kind of see where I would have moved things. Hello. Now that's menacing. It's like a jump scare. He's coming closer. Here we go. Lighting. This is sick. I like it. I like this pose. I like this character. This is a very hard piece to light, right? Because the lighting is everywhere. Like, it's coming from all directions. So the shadow would actually be on the middle, and the edges would be the part that's the light. The edges of everything, I feel like, would have the light. Which is kind of like the opposite of what you did, where you did the shadow on the edge. It would actually be the light on the edge. And then from there, it would also be like each object would also have like lighting on the edges, right? Yeah, and then like definitely the farther away stuff would be darker, or like the cast shadows would also be darker. I'm also like trying to counteract the lights that are already there. So it definitely looks funky. But I think the idea makes sense, maybe. This is eye straining, all right. Woo boy, okay. I might have glowed it a little too much. Let me unglow a little, hold on. Yeah, this is a great drawing. I think just making sure that, like, the lighting, you drew that light box, so let that light box be the light, you know? Okay, so facial structures. So you know what we could do? So I'm gonna kind of use this like a guide, and we're gonna see if we can kind of move things around to match the correct placement of objects. Honestly, I hate using the facial grid. Well, I don't draw realistic. But I feel like this person's going for more realism. You can also have liberty of moving things around from this point, you know, like, you don't have to be perfect to the grid, but I think just having the grid to be a starting point does help. Yeah, a mix would be good. Again, I literally just moved it to fit the proportion chart of a face. That's all I did. I didn't resize anything. So definitely, if we want some more of that old style, you could probably proportion things a little bit, right? Differently. Also, definitely, if you guys are noticing, the old one was heavily leaning on this side of the face. Our head is perfectly straight, but all the eyes and everything are like slanted and also sideways. So it's not correct. Like, the face placement is not correct. So you could possibly just move the eye over on the same plane and it would be okay. That, again, the eyes were tilted, the mouth was tilted, but the face is straight on, right? So again, the like location of things is not correct in that sense. It's about finding that happy medium of your style choices. Like, you could probably keep the eyes a little low. I think that's okay. But they just have to be at the right plane of the face. If your head is looking directly at us, your eyes better look directly at us. Don't move your eyes to the side of their head, because that's not gonna look right, right? The placement of things on the face, I did not change the size of a single thing. I just placed them somewhere else. How the placement of objects in relationship to one another will change the visual thing. I did not make the face longer. I did not make the face wider. I did not make the eyes or nose or mouth any different size. I just moved their location. The placement of objects will, in our brain, make things look different from one another. It's that same thing with like the dress thing where like some people think it looks white and gold and some think it looks blue and black. Like, it's that same idea where it's like context of things around it will make your brain think something different. Now that is some psychology stuff right there. Art is complicated. We should go back to caveman times. I like that's funny. Let's start with valleys. Ooh, yeah, the shirt is definitely blending in. Honestly, the shirt blending to the background might be a cool thing to happen. I just think we need more of a glow from this ring behind him. I feel like that would help pop it out a little more. Ooh, the arm is a little short. Someone said that. The sword just feels like it's tapering off a little too early. So it feels more like a dagger. Like, it doesn't feel like the right length of a sword. I am not going to sit here and paint that chest. Pretend I did. So this is giving me biblical art. They always have a yellow glow behind them. It's like a halo. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this piece. It's giving that same like energy where it's like the ring around the head. Chat, thoughts, bigger or smaller halo? I'm thinking smaller. Otherwise, I think the facial proportions are pretty strong. Let's see if we can do some lighting stuff to help push. So I really want that ring to glow. Very badly, but hey, whatever. I'm going for rough and uncaring. To the hand that I totally didn't draw. Pretend I drew a hand. Ooh, glowy. Here's our changes, and here's the original. Again, nothing too crazy. I feel like I haven't been doing that many like crazy changes lately. Which is good. That's good. I don't think we need crazy changes. I'm not a Christian. All I know about Christianity is through art history classes. My required art history, that's literally just like Bible fan art. Is that not what it is? Am I wrong? No, not just Bible fan art, Bible commissioned art. Come on, guys. They literally commission people to draw Bible fan art. We're not gonna lie to each other here that that's exactly what it was. What program is this? I've never seen this before in my life. What is this unknown program? I like this. This might be one of those like online apps where like you don't have layers. Like an MS Paint kind of vibe. This is something that's hard to critique because like it's purposefully trying to be sketchy. Like I can't tell this to be perfect because that's not the point of it. It's not supposed to be perfect. This is what it's supposed to look like. So what if it looks weird, right? It's supposed to be that way. Like that's what the program offers for you. Like I can move all these things around, but like, I don't know. Again, I'm conflicted. I mean, you could probably still do like an undersketch with one layer. Hair down here, I guess, could be something. The ears are high. Yeah, they are. I don't think that the big ears is a problem. Maybe just lower them a little. I love big ears, so we could just move them down. A little lopsided head a little bit. Because like, I don't know, my sketches look like this. Like, they look like messes. I mean, that's normal. If your sketches aren't messy like this, then you scare me. I just moved a couple proportionate stuff. I think, that's it. I just kind of moved things a little. Again, I like the energy that this is giving. This is a nice sketch. Line art. Let's take a little peek at the line art. Couple messies. Be a little nicer to your lines. You're tapering, which is nice. I love tapering. Watch for like things that are touching weirdly. You're already going really dark in some places for your line work, so I wouldn't be afraid to just go even harsher for like how thick your lines get. If you have smoothing, or it's also known as stabilizing, I highly recommend you use it. It'll make your lines cleaner faster. Yeah, just making sure you're cleaning these edges. Here's a tangent as well. Tangents are something that are very hard to avoid when you aren't aware of them. But once you start noticing tangents, you can never unnotice them. It's like a depressing superpower to have. It's one thing to have messy lines, but everything is messy, versus only some parts of the lines are messy, but the rest are like really clean. So this is obviously like only some parts are messy. Lines can help you show direction in space. You know, what's more in front, what's more behind. Line variety also will really pop your piece out a lot. Especially when two things are touching. If you have fatter lines where two elements are touching, it'll help show the difference a little better. You know what's interesting? You did it already here. You have this black, like as your shadow. If you're gonna do it here, do it some other places. Give us that black being the shadow. They do it in graphic novels all the time. And it'll not make the neck look weird, right? Because like with one place having that black, it kind of looks funny when only one part has that. But if you have other spots with it and it's like part of the entire piece, it feels a little more unified. Also, a great way to cheat not getting the perspective right is just filling it black. Then no one's gonna see it, they'll just see the silhouette, right? Whatever. I like the graphic style a lot. You have those lines going, let's use them. Mine's very messy. All right, I'm about to show you some awesome art right now. All right, this is the Watchmen. Look at the inking in this. Are you kidding me? It's so gorgeous. You kidding me? Come in here disgracing black lines. Not in my chat. Look at this weapon. Look at that. Love it. I'm obsessed. My God. I love comic. A lot of the first classes I took that were like fun art classes were comic making classes. So I learned all of this inking technique from a young age. And it just holds a very special place in my heart. Wait, look at that. Hatching. Okay, hello. I may redline this. Noticing is the arm that's holding it up, I think, is short. I think that arm's gotta be a little higher up. I'm getting Dark Souls from this. I don't know if you're using a ruler, but I will suggest using a ruler because it looks like the weapon's supposed to be perfectly straight down. I wonder if this is too long then, because I think the elbow should be higher up. Yeah, I feel like the elbow should be around here more. If we're gauging the right arm based off of how long the left arm is, then they should vaguely be the same length, right? He is from Dark Souls. I knew it. I think it's just the arms in that direction of that sword. One thing I'll warn about is going in all these crazy directions, because the hatching happening right in this area is a little hard to understand the direction. Like back here, we're all going in one direction, and that gives us the flow. Good, perfect. That's good. Here too, we're going this way. So we're understanding that we're flowing this way. Great. Even on the armor, like we're going around the shape of the armor. Right? We're getting that vibe of like how the armor is formed, right? We're all going in one direction with the hatching. But up here in this area, we're getting a little weird. Yes, you can cross it, which is okay, but you're kind of doing it randomly. So I feel like what you could do is your outline, focus more on that. I think if you had like a stronger outline in this section, we could probably get rid of some of these problems with the visualization of this hatching. I'm doing a vague guess as to how this is folding. We could then follow it from there. We're losing some of the directionality in here is all I'm saying. So definitely make sure we're being consistent throughout the piece. Lighting and anatomy. So definitely the legs are really short. If you're cropping a character on your screen, there's two things you can do. One, you make the character smaller so you fit the legs, or two, you just crop off the legs. It is much better to make sure that everything is the correct length instead of trying to force in something like the feet on the bottom of the page. Because it's much better to just have the legs leave the page and not see the feet than attempt to squishy them in and then your legs get too short and then your character's proportions don't look correct. There should be 8 lines, basically, that make up your body's proportion. So yours are definitely getting a little squished. And they should be even lines. So this is definitely not even. Pretty impressed with this foreshortening here. That's hard to do. And the angle would be that way. That's so bad, but that's okay. It's kind of icky looking. My edit. Please ignore my bad job. I don't know if you trace this hand, but some of these fingers are a little too far away, I think, from one another. It's a little better. Okay. Guys, how laggy am I? I'm glitching. It's part of the spook. Whatever. I think the color changes has been making my computer scream at me. I don't know, the face is pretty solidly made. Maybe the neck's just a little fat? You're definitely already doing it. The glow is gonna be where all the light's coming from, right? So I think just adding a little more parts of the body that are like gonna reflect it a little more, and then everything else would be a little darker, right? Also, going a little dark will also help pop things out a little more. I think that's a general idea. Probably need a little bit more work than just me squeezing it with like the proportions. The legs might still be a little short. Like whatever shading way you're going, it's working. Don't be afraid to push those darks and lights a little more. Woo! That's gonna do it. All right. Bye guys. Bye.